And now for our feature presentation.
What's up, everybody? This is Retro Reviews Plus coming at you with another video finally. I have been on a little bit of a hiatus here. I have moved, so that's been a lot of it, and still working, so, and also if you have, I have kids, so that can lead to a lot, lead to that. But anyways, I'm back. I'm doing a video here, and this is actually my 50th video. So I wanted to do something special, and as a teaser, a while back, I don't know how many months ago. It's probably been a few months ago now. I did a teaser that I was going to do a review of this movie here, which is, of course, is Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers. That's one of my favorites. As far as the Halloween movies go, I like up until like part 5 really well. But after part 5, after like starting with part 6, which was when Dimension Films took over, to me it just really went south. Just number one, the quality wasn't there. It just felt cheap. Even though there are a lot of complaints about part 5, it still didn't feel like cheaply done. You know what I mean? It was still you could still feel and see the production value. With 6, you didn't have that. And H2O is okay. Jamie Lee Curtis came back. But I still don't like it as good as, the earlier ones. So I do have H2O in my collection, and I'll watch it sometimes. But it just still doesn't have the feel to it. I mean, the biggest thing is they didn't get the mask right. They used different masks, and if you see a close up, you can see his eyes, and it kind of looks dorky a little bit. So to me, like 1 and 2, of course 3 doesn't have Michael Myers in it, but 1, 2, 4, and 5, those are the ones that I really like. We don't even have to talk about Resurrection, because that was just a complete joke. But anyways, back to this one here. This is part 4. It's definitely one of my favorites in the series. I would say probably my second favorite, because you're not going to beat the original. The first one's the favorite. But after that, I'd probably say this is my second favorite of the sequels. And I guess it would kind of be a toss-up between 2 and 5. Personally, I'd probably go with 5, just because in part 2, the majority of the movie, it takes place at the hospital, and I just don't like it being there at that one, stuck at that one location for the majority of the movie. That was kind of the negative on that one. But let's talk about this one here, part 4. Like as it states, it says the return of Michael Myers. Because part 3, he was not in part 3. It was a totally different story. You guys can research that one. I don't have part 3 in my collection. Not sure that I will seek it out. I mean, if I see it around like cheap, I might get it just to have it. But so at the end of part 2, and again, this is a spoiler if you haven't seen part 2. you might want to stop this video right now if you haven't seen part 2. But at the end of part 2, you know, they're at the hospital, and Dr. Loomis, you know, blows the place up, and she's trying to destroy Michael here. And so, you know, part 2, you know, came out in the early 80s, and, you know, we basically thought Michael was dead, because, you know, part 4 here came out in 1988. So, and I'm thinking part 2 came out in like 81 or 82, so a good 6 or 7 years went by there, and, you know, before part 4 came out. So it basically felt, well, Michael, he must be gone. But as the story here, as you can see in the video, that these people here, these people from the clinic, they came to the mental hospital where Michael actually has been staying for the 10 years. He was in a coma, you know, since the explosion, and so he's been in a coma for 10 years. These people came to transport him to another facility. Now, these people here that are transporting Michael, they're talking about, like, you know, does he have any family? And the woman, or the guy there says he has a niece in Haddonfield. And so basically Michael was still conscious and listening, and once he heard that, you know, you saw his fists clench, and he's like awakened now, because he realizes he has a relative in his hometown there of Haddonfield. And that is his relative right there. That is his niece. Her name's Jamie Lloyd in this movie, played by Danielle Harris. She does an excellent job, and not only in this one but in the next one, because she is in part 5. She really did a really good job for being a child actor. And so this is like her, you know, her foster sister, because she was basically adopted. The story is that, you know, Jamie here is actually Jamie Lee Curtis's character's daughter. So it doesn't really say, it kind of, you know, as far as the story, it doesn't really explain where, you know, Jamie Lee Curtis is in this. That does, you know, it does show a picture, so you're not sure if she's dead or just not around. But this is her foster sister. These people adopted Jamie, and, you know, but as you can see, she looked out the window. She thought she seen the ambulance there. She does have some kind of psychic connection with Michael. Jamie does. You know, he is her uncle. So she does have some sleeping issues here. So she is a troubled child, and, you know, especially, you know, it's really going to, you know, after what happens in this movie and the next one, she'd really be needing some counseling, because being chased and trying, you know, knowing your uncle's after you and trying to kill you, and, you know, he is creepy looking with the mask on and everything. So yeah. So that's a little bit of the story. I don't want to give too much of it away. So, you know, here she is looking in. She's got a box here, shoe box with some old. Yeah, there's a picture of her mom. So she does miss her mom. So that's basically the story. Is, you know, Michael's coming back to town to try to kill this little girl. And being that she is a child, to me that, like, raises the stakes, you know, as far as compared to, like, if he was going after someone that was an adult. It just, because you don't want to see kids get hurt. So that just kind of raises the stakes a little bit to me. because I mean, as a child, she's very vulnerable, to an adult, especially to Michael. So that it really kind of sets you on the edge, and to me made for a good suspense. So you see, that was a very intense scene there. So even though that wasn't real, you can see that Jamie does have some kind of psychic connection with Michael. She, kind of knows and feels like he is coming after her, even though he's not there yet in the town. He's on his way, and I think this is just, she's kind of feeling that. And here's an example of some good cinematography. I mean, the way the town looks, you can definitely tell it does look like Halloween. They did shoot this in the fall, and I appreciate that. I like when they pay attention to details like that. Yeah, this guy here, the dad, he freaking dipped his got his tie in his coffee there, and then looked at his wife and said, "Darlene," and it's like it was her fault. It's like I was like, what the heck, man? It ain't her fault you got your tie in your coffee. I just man, I guess some guys are arrogant like that. They just don't want to blame the wife. So the story's progressing here. Their babysitter got injured and had to cancel. So they got to basically have their daughter watch Jamie tonight, which this is Halloween, of course. And the daughter's not crazy about it. She's had a date planned with her boyfriend and that sort of thing, and she's very shallow here.
Commitment. But now my future relationship, my engagement, my marriage, my children, and your grandchildren have all been wiped out because I have to babysit. Oh, joy.
I'm sorry I ruined everything. I wasn't here. You can go out.
Oh.
Good job, Rachel. That little girl needs all the love we can give her right now. All you can do is think about yourself.
So yeah, that was very selfish of her and very hurtful for her to say something like that, because Jamie heard every word of it. But what ended up happens is she does watch her, and she takes her trick or treating and that sort of thing. What I liked about this, another thing I like about these movies is that it does. Like this here, this doesn't throw you into it. It's has good character development. You get to know the characters and care about them and that sort of thing. And because a lot of movies don't, they just have these just cardboard cutout characters, and then they have no depth at all. And it's like in a lot of the later ones. And here is good old Dr. Loomis, played by Donald Pleasance. He's a star of the movie. To me, he's part of what keeps the movie, what kept the franchise going, because you had that dynamic of he was Michael Myers' doctor, personal. He tried to talk with Michael, and all those years he tried to reach him. On a mental level, of course he says that Michael Myers didn't utter a word, and he did try to reach him and he tried to help him, but You know, after like so many years, he just realized it was not going to happen, and there was no hope. So he does reveal that, you know, he spent like the first maybe 8 or so years trying to help him and reach him, but you know, once he realized it got to the point where it wasn't going to happen, you know, then he spent the next number of years trying to keep him locked up so he never got out, because he knew if he did get out, he of course was going to be a danger to people. But he shows up here at the you know, at the clinic because he's like, why wasn't I notified, you know, of Michael Myers being released or transferred. So they just got the call and saying there was an accident on the road. This guy here that works at the hospital didn't really want to believe Loomis, you know. Everyone except Dr. Loomis underestimates Michael Myers. You know, he's like, well, that even happened in the first movie. You know, they didn't think he could drive a car, and then, you know, the guy Loomis was like, well, he was doing pretty well last night, you know, when he took their car and drove off. And you know, they continued the tradition of that, because this person here that runs that facility, he's like, well, even if Michael was conscious, since he's been in a coma for 10 years, you know, he wouldn't be able to even move. His muscles would be useless. And you know, I do like what Dr. Loomis says here when he brings that up.
He's gone. He was here, and he's gone.
Did you find any other bodies? Not yet. There's a lot of ground to cover.
You won't find him. He's done all this. Now he's escaped.
You don't know that. Michael could have been thrown from the bus. I've seen bodies thrown 50, 60 feet from a crash site. Even if by some miracle Michael is conscious, his muscles will be totally useless. Give the troopers a chance to search.
You're talking about him as if he were a human being. That part of him died years ago.
Now where are you going?
Haddonfield. It's a 4-hour drive. You can reach me through the local police. If you don't find him in 4 hours, I'm sure I will.
So that basically sets it up, you know, and Dr. Loomis is going to be heading to Haddonfield to try to find Michael. But yeah, I did like that where he, you know, he's like, you're talking to him as if he was a human being, you know. I just thought that was a good part of the movie. And so Michael is, there at this garage. He killed that guy. He was like a mechanic. Like I said, this movie does have some good cinematography. There's a really nice shot coming up where Dr. Loomis does come face to face with Michael here at this like gas station / like diner, and it's like a zoom shot, and it'll be coming up here shortly. So Loomis is at this place, he's trying to see if anyone's there, and then he just got that surprise. He's like, realized Michael is there.
Is anybody here?
So there's another dead employee there. And you can see Michael beat up the phone so he can't call out. Here's a payphone that's useless. The white cord been ripped out. Here's the shot I was telling you about coming up, the zoom shot.
Michael? Why now? You waited 10 years. I knew this day would come. Don't go to Haddonfield. You want another victim, take me. But leave those people in peace. Please. Michael. God damn you.
Love the music of these movies. So yeah, that's got some also some action in this movie right there. I thought that was a good action scene with the gas station blowing up and everything, and Loomis barely survived in there. So Jamie is going trick or treating here. Her foster sister Rachel's taking her trick or treating. Here's Loomis. He's at the, he did manage to get his way to the sheriff's office.
What?
Riker retired in 81. Moved to St. Petersburg.
Oh, well, who's the new sheriff?
I am. Ben Meeker.
Oh, Sheriff Meeker. My name is Dr.
Loomis. Folks around here aren't likely to forget your face. It's not cops. So what brings you back here after 10 years?
Michael Myers has escaped from Richmond. He's here in Haddonfield.
That's impossible. Michael Myers is an invalid.
He's here, Sheriff.
Why?
10 years ago, he tried to kill Laurie Strode. Now he wants her daughter.
Are you talking about Jamie Lloyd?
Wherever she is, that little child is in mortal danger.
Myers has been locked up since before she was born. He's never laid eyes on her.
6 bodies, Sheriff! That's what I've seen between here and Richmond. A filling station in flames. I tell you, Michael Myers is here in this town. He's here to kill that little girl and anybody who gets in his way.
All right, Pierce, call the troopers and check your story out. And assuming what you say is true.
It's true, Sheriff.
All right, it's true. The hell can we do to avoid a repeat of 10 years ago?
Find this little girl, get her someplace safe. Call the local TV station. Tell them to get people off the streets and behind locked doors.
Can't get long distance, Sheriff. Operator says the lines are down.
So Dr. Loomis there does have to do some, takes him a little bit to convince the new sheriff that this is a real situation. Michael Myers is in the town and it's not a joke. So Jamie here, she's still enjoying a night of trick or treating with Rachel. So like a goofhead, Rachel and Jamie got separated here. She lost track of Jamie because she was met up with her boyfriend at one of the houses there and was talking with him. And Jamie kind of...
Whoever you are, I have a big dog with me
Jamie kind of went off with these other kids and then got separated from her.
Jamie! Where have you been? Don't ever go off on your own at night again, okay? Not ever.
Jane, thank God.
What's going on?
Come on, please.
So Dr. Loomis and the sheriff do find him. They're like, oh, it's going to be okay. But then here you see this.
Is that him? Is that him?
Yes.
Loomis.
Oh, Christ, Doc. Dear God.
So you're like, wow, what the heck?
Come in, Pierce. Come in, Pierce.
What the hell is going on?
One home Earl's police business.
What the hell did this? Looks like to me you're out of business. Now I want some answers.
I haven't got the time or the patience to argue with you. Now go home to your families where you belong.
Forget it.
It was Michael Myers. He's come home to kill.
Let it be, Earl.
Let the police handle it.
Like the last time. How many people killed back then? How many kids?
Al here lost his boy 10 years back.
Well, not this time, Ben. I'll handle this my own way. We're gonna fry his ass.
Son of a bitch, you just created a lynch mob.
You haven't got a police force. These men may be the only defense you've got.
So as you can see, the people of the town are pretty pissed off to learn that this Michael Myers is back in town. So they're actually going to basically go out and try to find him and kill him themselves.
Another key?
I don't know.
Get away, get away. It's metal, God damn it, it's metal.
What does that mean?
We're trapped in this house.
Jamie.
Rachel.
And of course, he realizes he only has a double barrel shotgun, which he wasted the 2 shots on the door. And now he's fiddling, trying to reload the gun. You're like, oh, come on, just load it and shoot his ass. But that's part of these movies. It builds the suspense up. This is a very memorable scene. They're actually, Jamie and Rachel are up on the roof of the house. They're trying to get away from Michael. See, this is good movie making. Not CGI bullcrap that makes you want to throw up. This is people doing real stuff in the real world.
I want you to get down to the chimney, Jamie. Let's ride, damn it.
Yeah, very good acting here. So it ends up, yeah, Michael is still after him on top of the truck here. So this movie takes you from place to place. See, this is this is why I like this one better than part 2, because you're all over the place in this movie. You know, you're in the town, you're at the police station, at the school, going through the neighborhood trick or treating. It's very different locations. I like that. I don't like where a movie is just in one spot like that hospital is on that in part 2. That is the biggest thing about part 2. I don't like. I mean, I do like part 2, as you know. It still is a decent movie, but just that one thing. So that concludes my review of Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Hopefully it wasn't too long. I will give this movie 4 stars out of 5, and I definitely recommend you check it out. So if you have any questions or comments, leave your comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. You can maybe give me your thoughts of this movie and the series. So until next time guys, have a good one.
Get you, gonna 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 get you. The boogeyman is coming.